It said that little Tai is shy, making her the invisible cloak at school with no friends. Over time, her shyness led to insecurity, making her avoid eye contact during speeches. Friends say a scaredy cat's gaze is evasive. But there's a saying, when God closes the door, he opens the window. Anne is sensitive to political news, with insights beyond many adults. They chatted for a bit, and soon when they passed the park bench, they seemed to reach an agreement to recharge there. To keep her pricey outfit clean, Annie boldly grabbed a magazine and sat, treating it like a throne. Both were awkwardly silent, not knowing what to say, until smiles appeared due to this little incident. Eager little Tai showed fondness for Anna's identity. Faced with what brings you here, Annie was nervous, unsure how to reply. But when she looked up, she saw paparazzi nearby and silently exclaimed, "Oops." Her eyes shifted to innocence. Wearing guest clothes and strolling around during work hours. That's a deadly blow that could get her fired in an instant. To save their jobs and gain a little personal life, they plotted to find a secluded spot and set sail like two fearless adventurers toward Jack's usual hangout. There, little Tai asked him, "How did you manage not to choke up in front of all those cameras?" Seemingly recalling some old memories, Jack pulled out a paper clip from his pocket and began to share a comical mishap from his first speech. After that, he came up with a trick. He held onto the paperclip as if it were a lightning rod, letting all his nerves and fears vanish like lightning seed, and little Tai was. Meanwhile, Annie felt Jack had become the child's parent, warming her heart. Little Tai turned, hopeful, and asked, "Can we see it?" But it was work hours. Annie anxiously checked her watch. Ultimately, she limited it to 5 minutes. Hearing he'd soon be busy, Jack hesitated, then asked outrageously, "Join the party on Monday." Deep down, Annie yearned for a stronger connection, but the thought of being just a maid left her feeling a bit more importantly, frequent meetups as a fake guest felt like a high-risk investment. Reason overcame emotion. Annie firmly declined the invitation. 5 minutes flew, and they hurried back to the hotel after bidding Jack farewell. Sensing Anna's resolve to leave, Jack didn't persist. Before parting, he took out a bunch of paperclips. He placed the paperclips in little Tai's hands, playfully advising her to use them wisely, saying, "These will last you into adult." Watching the mother and child walk away, Jack fell into a trance, a bizarre smile creeping onto his face. Back at the hotel, Annie quickly changed into a maid's outfit, marveling at how smoothly the raid had gone. However, just as she had let out a sigh of relief, she abruptly heard that someone wanted to see her, which made her think, "Oh," and feel apprehensive. With a trembling heart filled with anxiety, panic set in as she walked into the office thinking, "Is my cover blown?" She thought she'd have to confess everything, but the person who had spoken to her said, "Miss Laura has submitted a promotion application for you." Turns out, the last time she was called to the office was just to check her awareness, and the pressure was slightly lifted. But after easing her mind, next morning she was shocked. Her park photo with Jack was in the newspaper. Although she managed to cover her face at the time, those who knew her might still recognize her. To make matters worse, Jack had his subordinates send a love letter to a guest at the park just to see Annie. The suite's owner heard that the renowned Congressman Jack would invite them for dinner and was so excited, it was like winning the free super dinner lottery. Meanwhile, in the bathroom cleaning, Annie felt equally excited, knowing that Jack was actually here for her, but her good mood didn't last long, as she was soon sent to serve in Jack's suite by her boss. "Hey, Jack Matthew, good morning." "Thanks, no problem." As Jack headed to the bedroom, Annie set the dining utensils, and soon, the real guest of the park suite knocked on the door. Jack's face displayed pure confusion when he saw the visitor, but out of politeness, he let them in. Before they could exchange a few words, Jack dashed off to find Anna's boss, spotting 5 or 6 beautiful black-haired girls, one of whom was, "What's going on?" "Sorry, Jack." There was no point in saying more, she could only walk away. Just combining the park suite, Annie served with little Tai's name. The man had his answer in no time. He chose not to expose her immediately, instead rescuing her multiple times while quietly deciding to help Annie with her family background. Even if he didn't know the truth, if she impersonated a guest and got involved with another guest, Annie would surely lose her job. He might get dragged into it too, which is why he chose to keep quiet. Not meeting who he wanted, Jack finished his business, excused himself to evade the mechanical gentleman. He told the driver to pull over, hopped out of the car, and approached the mother and son, saying, "How are you guys? You okay?" "Yeah, I'm good. Wanna hear something strange? I wanted to take you to lunch, but when you got here, I wasn't around." "What happened?" Annie could only say she checked out yesterday and moved to another hotel near the Tremont housing project. She stammered, saying she had plans for a party with friends that night. "How can I join you?" "We're at 9172. How do I get in touch with you?" "If you want to reach them, just call them." After hurriedly jotting down the phone number, Annie rushed off with her son. Fearing that saying any longer would give her away, she was determined not to keep any contact with Jack.